the consequences, if any of this is true, if just one case is true, are so huge that it would be the biggest revelation in the human experience. We would have to rethink everything we think we know about ourselves, our place in the cosmos. And it is scary. I worked for the British government for 21 years at the Ministry of Defense, and for much of the early 90s I ran the UK's UFO program. So my job was to research and investigate the phenomenon and come to a judgment about whether there was evidence of any threat to the defense of the UK or anything of more general scientific interest.
So you've outlined everything you did in the UK investigating UFOs. Does the US government have a similar program?
Yes, the US started in the UFO game in 1947, and they had then 3 programs under the name Sign, Grudge, and Blue Book. Blue Book was the most famous, long-running one. It was essentially
Why should I be worried or dig deeper into the Nimitz footage?
you don't know what you're looking at. But that, in a sense, is the point of the story. You don't know what you're looking at. The pilots don't know what they're looking at. The radar operators don't know what they're tracking. And the whole radar aspect of this story is very important in terms of corroboration. It's not just these trained observers, the pilots. It's being tracked on radar too. And in a sense, the story is simply that the US military in their fastest jets can't catch these UFOs. They are running rings around them. There's something out there. And there's this marvelous quote that I think one of the pilots came out with after this, when he was asked, well, what do you think? He said, I don't know what it was, but I sure as heck want to fly one. Now, when a US Navy, when one of the top guns tells you something like that, this should be telling everyone something about UFOs.
Dude, this is a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing! It's rotating.
And when they start suddenly saying, look at that thing go, like, there's a whole fleet of them. Wow. And you can hear the tension and excitement in their voices, and you know that something extraordinary was going on. Exactly. When you fly thousands of miles an hour, you don't get excited about that kind of thing unless it's orders of magnitude beyond it. And clearly they were seeing and experiencing something they'd never come across before. And for the skeptics who say that no one takes UFOs seriously, they scrambled military jets to try and intercept this thing and get a look at it. And wait, what does it tell you when an F-16 can't catch something? Right. Then clearly it goes back to the point, speed and maneuverability. These UFOs, whatever they are, run rings around our best air defense fight.
What are some of the mind-blowing realities about these observed objects?
Well, I think it's the speeds and the maneuvers I've sat down and spoken to Air Force pilots, commercial pilots, radar operators, who have told me about visual sightings and radar tracking of objects, performing speeds and maneuvers that we simply can't match. I mean, not just, it's a little bit faster than us, because then you could say, well, maybe it's just next generation stealth fighter, but orders of magnitude above and beyond anything we can do. The idea that an object can hover, a huge object, you need an incredible amount of energy to keep something hovering like that. Some of these UFO reports, credible reports, pilots, military personnel, police officers, talk about objects the size of a football field, the size of an aircraft carrier.
No sound.
No sound.
They don't break the sound barrier.
Yep.
They're going Mach 2, 3, 4 to 10. No sound barrier. Boom. No sonic booms.
It almost suggests a new physics, or rather, physics that we currently can't understand or replicate. And I've come across many, many cases where people get around this by just using code phrases like, we've seen an unusual aircraft or an unconventional helicopter.
The word UFO, you say it, people have a knee-jerk reaction that it equals aliens. UFO, aliens. It means unidentified flying objects. We've investigated, we looked at this thing, and we still don't know what it is. It's a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object.
UFO is, or should mean, simply something in our airspace that we can't identify. And of course, every government and air force on the face of the planet wants to know what's in its skies. Are there any threats? Are there any opportunities? Is it the Russians? Is it somebody else?
I can't deny. I sit here right now and I can't deny that UFOs exist. I can't go that far to say they're extraterrestrial, but correct me if I'm wrong, the leading hypothesis is that they are.
Yes, even within government, we admitted that it was a possibility. But the more I delved back into those real-life X-Files, and the more I started investigating the new cases that came in every day, the more I began to see, wait a minute, not all these people are wrong. Not all these people are crazy. And what do I tell the pilot, be they an experienced commercial aircraft captain, or be they a fast jet pilot in the Air Force? What do I tell those sorts of people when they come to me and say, I've seen this incredible object, I chased it, it outmaneuvered me at every turn?
Yeah, it's scary stuff.
It is scary, yeah. I totally agree. I think if they are visiting us here, although we have a space program, we haven't got very far. Any technology that viable interstellar travel technology that extraterrestrials must possess if we are being visited is clearly orders of magnitude above anything we've got. And yes, absolutely, that's scary. That's why government views this in terms of threats and opportunities, because they are smarter than us and more advanced. That's a worry. The skeptics have to be right every single day. The believers only need to be right once, and this is the ultimate game changer. I mean, we only need all those documents that you've read, all those cases you've looked at, all the videos. Only one of them needs to be extraterrestrial, and we rewrite the history books.
Right. Only one of those changes the course of humanity.